So basically, how this is going to work is they're going to be switching servers between America and Korea, since Scarlett is playing from Korea. And they already did their map vetoes, and they were already raring to go, which surprised me. Pleasant surprise. So that's why we're back a lot sooner than I thought we were going to be. So I hope you guys have your popcorn in hand, because we're getting into Scarlett versus Pili in his PvZ.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one. And look, Annie, I love Pili. Pili's my boy.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give a bit of favoritism to Scarlett here.
But Sasha's my girl, though.
Scarlett's
like,
awesome.
I'm biased.
I love Scarlett to death, but I also got to give her a lot of favoritism coming into this, because her Protoss is pretty well known. It's pretty abusive, and it's pretty frustrating to play against. So, I don't know. This is going to be a hard match for Pili, I think.
Okay, I forgot to change the interface. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. I forgot to change the interface for
WCS overlay.
Yeah, for Americas, yeah. Something to think about, guys. Oh, and of course they're gonna play pink and red. Good thing they're not Zergs, because that's kind of hard to see. When Zerg does pink and red, oh god. ZVZ gets so confusing. But in the bottom left, we do have our Zerg player for the day, PiLiPiLi.
And his opponent up here at the top right, the pink Protoss player. It's Scarlett from Team Expert.
So we do see Pili going for a pretty standard build here for Zerg, and he wants to go for, I think, a normal game, and so does Scarlett. She doesn't seem to be proxying anything like I thought she would be, so that's really awesome. I wanted to see some serious games from these guys.
Here's the funny thing about Scarlett, is that her Protoss playstyle is anything but normal, but it still will open up normally. The big difference is going to be when she gets out that first Oracle, she'll make the second Oracle. Okay, you know what? That's actually not that odd. She'll make a third Oracle. Okay, getting a little bit weird now. Fourth, fifth, she's gonna add on a second and third Stargate. She's gonna just make 3 Oracles at a time and try and kill her opponent with that in the depths. Like, that's one of her really common playstyles. So, Pili should actually, I think he should actually know about this, because Scarlett doesn't exactly hide her Protoss playstyle at all.
Right, I mean, especially because she displayed it in Challenger, so it's kind of out there now. I mean, for example, like I said, Showtime, he doesn't stream. No one's ever really seen his Zerg. I mean, people know he play it. Maybe some people know he play it, but you know, this is the first time we actually get to see what his Zerg is like, but we know what Scarlett's Protoss is like.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, the funny thing about Scarlett's Protoss is I do think it is sometimes a little bit vulnerable to cheesy all-ins from Zergs. I think that's how she ended up losing some of her games as Protoss in Challenger. And I've definitely seen her lose some games as Protoss versus, like, just Zergs that would go for kind of cheeky, like, Ling Floods or basically no regret it up a little bit. So I'm interested to see if Pili's going to do that.
Pili's going for a layer instead of a third at the 3-minute mark, so
oh my god,
I'm wondering what he's up to. I think I don't see Evo.
Here's my guess. My guess is this is a 2-base Spire play, which is, if you think about the whole Oracle thing I was talking about, is literally just an ingenious way of dealing with this.
I wonder if Pili, I don't know if let me see. He didn't see the Stargate.
No.
He's just putting up spores because he just probably has an intuition.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we do have, oh, it's a Roach Worm and a Nidus Worm.
Ooh.
Okay, you know, Annie, Sequencer's a big map. If you're at a position with even a few units, this can be frustrating. And you know what my favorite part about this is?
What?
Dealing with a Nidus Worm as Protoss is something that like you just cannot do without some good experience.
Oh!
It is the most frustrating thing to deal with otherwise.
Yeah, he didn't scout it. He didn't scout it. He didn't scout the Nidus. It's still good. I wonder if Scarlett notices that that's an abnormal amount of queens to have. I don't think Scarlett sees that there's no third either.
Yeah, you know, it's always funny because you'll scout some of these like telltale signs of something weird going on, but you're never sure, is it just because my opponent is not used to playing this race?
Right, right. We do see the Oracle trying to fly in and scout for a third, though. She's looking for it.
Oh. Does PiLi have a scout on the other side of the map? Does he have a way to plant down the Nidus?
He does, and he has an overseer that's slowly making their way downtown, flying fast. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Something like that.
Oh my god, Scarlett is on top of this though. The Stalker's already there.
The Stalkers, are they gonna shut this down? I mean, even if PiLi puts the Nidus up, well, he does. I was gonna say, even if PiLi puts up the Nidus in the front, that's still really not bad just because of the timing. And, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if he's... Scarlett's got a Void right now. Alright, okay, okay. Okay, is just gonna be... Ooh, you know, this might be enough. I think this might be enough. PiLi just has to not die to overcharges. He's just gonna bait out the overcharges for as long as he can, and just take down the few air units that are there. Because I think these stalkers are really easy in small numbers like this, especially if he keeps just streaming roaches across the Nidus.
Yeah, being able to take out the cybernetics core is also really nice. That's going to prevent any additional stalkers or sentries or adepts from being warped in.
I like the stasis ward here. It's going to keep this aggression from getting too out of hand, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think PiLi's going to be able to shoot down more of these pylons and cut down the production even more.
Yeah, and not only that, but as you were saying, like losing that production is a really big deal because Scarlett is only on 4 gateways, so losing 2 of them sucks, but Mothership Core going down. Queens with some good transfuse is going to stay alive for a long time, and I think that PiLi's got this.
PiLi coming in with the Roach Nidus, but you know, the last time I saw this was Home Story Cup with Solar, but that was a ZVZ, I think. And I think Koreans were doing it for a while, but I haven't seen it in a while, though.
Oh, man. I love that PiLi is playing this way, because again, this is that one thing that I think defending as Protoss, oftentimes you're defending with very few units, and if you can get away with the defense, then you look awesome, you look super solid, but it's something that really does take quite a bit of practice, and Scarlett, I think she's used to being the one that's getting aggressive and weird, not used as much to dealing with the Protoss, or the Zerg aggression.
Their units just streaming across the map now because I think he just has them rallied and he's not even using the Nidus anymore. So PiLi's feeling very, very confident about his play right now. The thing that's really interesting about this reverse race matchup stuff is that you basically have the inside scoop of how the economy works, of how production works, and you're able to hit these kind of timings because you just know how it is. Probe's getting cold. I don't think that's going to be enough, though. There's no pylons powering up any of these. Yeah. Oh, is Scarlett going to be able to clean up with? I don't know.
I mean, PiLi has a lot of transfuses still available, and even if Scarlett eventually cleans this up, this is... she's just taking so much damage, and PiLi is taking a third behind this. He's still got that lair tech he can make use of, so he's not actually as far behind as you would normally think. And, well, the queens are starting to get cleaned up, but Lings and the roaches are now moving into the natural, so Scarlett's not even mining right now.
And all the stalkers are also pretty low. Or, no, half the stalkers. Half the stalkers are pretty low.
Alright, well, Scarlett is going to start to move across the map. PiLi unloads some more Lings and might be able to catch them. They do not have Blink. They do not have an escape mechanism, but, oh man, PiLi, he just knows. He just has to go through the economy. Force out a bunch of overcharge in the natural, go straight to the main base.
Oh, she's gonna be able to pick off more probes now.
Oh, wow. Not actually losing as many workers. Okay, well, losing 8 workers. Still kind of frustrating, but losing less than I thought she would for that many lings.
34 probes go down for Scarlett in that entire attack. PiLi is gonna pull back home.
Yeah, I think damage has been done at this point. It can be a little bit dangerous to just overcommit a bit too much, so PiLi makes a few more roaches just to make sure that he can continue some form of aggression, but it's starting to drone up pretty heavily now, and we may be seeing that transitionary tech pretty soon.
I think PiLi wants to counter with these lings or maybe get another scout in, but these definitely look like attack lings to me. I don't think they just want a friendly little, oh, let's see what's going on in here. Let's poke.
I mean, Scarlett does not have an observer. She is only just now getting a robo, so she doesn't actually have a way to clean up this creep tumor. That means that this wall is just going to remain completely open for a good bit of time. I think it's a great idea. Just keep some lings ready for the counterattack. In fact, PiLi's going to see the exact moment that Scarlett tries to move out, and there come the lings just flooding on in.
Gonna get more probe kills down on that hold position. And in the main.
Boy.
Oh, I think the damage is definitely done here. PiLi's gonna scout that there is a third.
And yeah, Scarlett's barely mining right now. Just only really mining for that natural. Trying to transfer some more workers back to that third, but at this point, 3 more warp gates get depowered inside the main base.
Oh, PiLi's continuing to creep spread. He does not want this wall to be closed at all.
Yeah, unfortunately for PiLi, creep tumor, active one, does get picked off, so it's finally going to lose out on that, but he's already done so much at this point. And he's still technically got the Nidus worm. If Scarlett ever moves out, PiLi could technically just re-Nidus as long as he gets some vision somewhere in that main base. But he already has the creep spread, so he actually has... Well, he doesn't have it anymore.
Well, yeah,
but,
the creep tumor's got cleaned up.
Yeah. If
he were to hit, it would be now. Do it now. Now! Now! No! Oh, you're missing your opportunity, PiLi. It's okay.
Yeah, I think he's still got he's got a good economy going. He's got a lot of roaches and these Ravagers also being made. There's a bit of danger that maybe Scarlett gets up enough Immortals and Sentries to take a good engagement or something, but it's going to be so difficult for Scarlett because she's not only remaking all the workers she just lost, but she's not even mining gas right now. I mean, literal only 3 probes mining gas for Scarlett.
There was a point in time, though, after PiLi's attack where they were very close in worker count. I think it was something like 26 for Scarlett and 28 for PiLi. So their economies were pretty close at one point, but now there's definitely a huge lead for PiLi, not only in supply, but also just for resources.
Pilot's starting to get taken out. Ravagers trying to get some good connections. Actually hitting a lot of his own lings, and gonna be a difficult area to break into, but going after the gateways is gonna be a wise decision. Try and knock down that wall. Make it easier for these witches Ravagers flood in.
Yeah, I really like this overcharge coming in from the pylon in the back of the obstacle, but I think Scarlett just wants to try and get some good force fields in and maybe catch PiLi in some kind of choke, hoping that she can keep these banelings from doing too much damage. And here comes that choke that I was talking about, that force field wall. Now, PiLi breaks it with Biles. He's gonna move in.
Yeah, but there's only 2 force fields left over now for Scarlett, and where is she even going to be planting them? I don't know if she can get good enough force fields, but banelings come rolling on in, the final 2 force fields go down, and Scarlett back down to just pure stalkers. They do have blink, but there's a lot of blinking that needs to be done.
I did like the blink back though to try to save her stalkers from the banelings, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, she just took too much economic damage and she couldn't produce for the longest time. She was only producing from those 3 gateways in the back. And I think Zerg is just going to overpower here.
PiLiPiLi taking game number 1 versus the infamous Scarlett's Protoss. A little bit surprising.
All right, so I think we're going to be switching over to Korea server now, guys. So just give us a moment while we do that to get you guys game number 2. For any of you who are just now joining in, we are going to be switching servers between Korea and America so that they can both have a fair chance, because we do have a good bit of money on the line. Winner of each series will get $100 and loser of each series will get $25. Just to be like, hey, thanks for coming, playing, and showing what you got. You know?
Okay, it looks like our next map is going to be Abyssal Reef for game number 2. This is, of course, Scarlett's map choice. Interested to see what she's going to be able to pull out. This is a map that I think a lot of Protoss players do enjoy, just because they've learned how to deal with the kind of walling off at the natural after such a long period of time. And I think there's a lot of good force field potential on this map as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Pili comes up with. My hope, my prayer, my guess is that it's going to be a proxy hatch. I am rooting for the proxy hatch. I want it right at the 3rd in that area that Scarlett always puts it in. And I want her to get a little taste of her own medicine. Now the thing is, I've got a Zerg bias. Like, I don't know if you guys know this. I mean, I'm wearing, hold on, you guys can't see, but I'm wearing a Zerg heart shirt. I mean, Zerg's my thing. So, and Scarlett's my girl. But do I root for her or do I root for the Zerg? Do you know what I mean? It's hard. It's a hard life.
Fair enough. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Scarlett didn't really get to go into the kind of like her game, right?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about how she has that very odd style where she'll mass out oracles or get up like crazy numbers of adepts and just go for like an adept all-in, which I'll admit is not actually that crazy. But there's a good chance that well, Scarlett asking Pili to correct his race. This is not a PvP.
This is not. I don't want to see a PvP.
That would actually be very interesting though if
Wouldn't it?
I've never not never. I think I have very rarely seen Scarlett ever play a PvP. I would be interested to see how her disruptor control is.
You know, I think I've probably seen it just because I was in Korea and I was living with Sasha while I was there. And whenever, you know, she would be practicing, sometimes it would be as Protoss. And that's when I first knew that she even off-races as Protoss. So, of course, she was like one of my top picks for doing the Fight Club. And speaking of which, in the top left, we've got Scarlett as Protoss. Which some of you might be coming in here going, what? Scarlett doesn't play Protoss. What are you talking about? I thought she was Zerg. What's going on here?
And similarly, down here in the bottom right, we have the red Zerg player, normally a Protoss player. It's PiLiPiLi from Psystorm Gaming. So, here's something that's worth talking about, Annie. Most Protoss players, they know how to wall off on this map, and Zerg players kind of stopped all winning. But,
my prayers have been answered. We see a proxy hatch going down, but it is within vision of Scarlett's wall here, so I don't know. I don't really know what he was trying to. I don't get if this is just to like force a reaction. Maybe he's gonna cancel it. I'm not sure, but I mean, Scarlett is gonna pull probes. What would be really cool is if Pili went for the double proxy hatch. Now, that would be my prayers answered times 2. I don't think he's going to do it, though.
yeah, I think that this proxy hatch finishes, though, right? I think it finishes safely.
For sure, for sure.
And the creep spread is going to start spreading out also. That actually might even prevent the full wall off over here. The Zealot can block the wall over at the front, but this is going to get weird. Do you think you cancel it in this situation?
Well, if you do cancel it, what you can do is you can build a spine there because there is enough creep, but that's enough to take out a spine. So I don't think Pili wants to do that. Pili does go for an... Oh, he is going to cancel. I think that was just to delay the natural from going down, to distract and pull away from mining, and to get his own natural down at third because Scarlett did pylon block him at the natural.
Oh, okay. He was trying to go for the block.
I thought he was going to go for the block again. Oh, I was so excited for the hatchery block.
Yeah, Scarlett did also pylon block Pili's natural expansion, and Pili's not gotten around to getting out enough lings to clean that up, so gonna work away on it with a drone, but he took his third expansion instead. And at the end of the day, both these players kind of delaying their expansions a good bit, but oh god, the gas.
I like the gas block here from Pili. He's really disrupting Scarlett's flow, and sometimes if you disrupt flow, that's enough.
Oh man, the drone does get picked off. I'm surprised Pili didn't let that finish. It's kind of nice if you can delay it even longer, but man, pushing your luck over there since there is a zealot already out. Where is that zealot?
That zealot is trying to keep that pylon alive.
Wow.
Staying alive. I don't think there's enough lings to pick off the zealot. Zealots are so pesky early game like this just because they are very tanky.
A pylon's actually going to get up behind that expansion. The queen from the high ground is going to be able to whittle away at you. That's actually a really, really nice play for Pili, but photon overcharge is going to be really problematic here.
Oh, I really like this counter aggression from Scarlett, or from Scarlett. Yes. Okay, I had to make sure I was saying the right player with the race. It gets very confusing, guys.
Okay, it looks like that the queen is going to go after, or sorry, the militia corps is going to go after one of these queens. Pili is desperately trying to keep it alive, and I think he's going to be able to get the pylon snipe off before Fortune Overcharge can come out again. And wow, Pili might be able to keep that queen alive. He does. Wow.
Yeah, Pili definitely, or Scarlett definitely doesn't want to move that mothership core into those two queens because they definitely would have won that battle. It seems like Pili wants to send a bunch of lings across the map. I don't know what he expects to do. I mean, he knows how tight a Protoss wall can be.
I think he's going to Baneling bust, though. Consider this. If you have enough Banelings to kill something like a Cybernetics core, he's also going to be able to get the robotics facility. That's effectively going to cut down Scarlett's production. And Scarlett's sitting on one gateway worth of production right now. If she even loses the gateway, she's going to be in a world of trouble. She cannot warp in anymore after that.
I'm really liking this aggressiveness by Pili and just kind of showing that he isn't just going to get rolled over by carriers or anything like that.
Baneling's getting some okay connections. They do knock down the pylon that was for the wall. Oh god, the Baneling!
Hit!
Oh, he needs to close it out with a little bit more DPS. The only one Baneling connected on most of those workers, so the Lings needed to be the ones to finish the job, but not quite going to be able to.
Yeah, the shields are pretty much regenerated now, and it's going to take a lot to take them down now. Not just those Lings can't just one-shot those probes anymore. I mean, I really thought Pili, like you said, was going to go for the cybernetics, and then the splash damage would take out the robotics.
Yeah, seemed like he, I guess he was just thinking like, oh, I can get into the natural expansion of the main base by taking out the pylon as lower health. I need less Banelings for it. I wonder if actually he even just, he started taking out the robotics facility, and he only had 4 Banelings left, and there was that moment where he kind of hesitated and pulled back with his Banelings. He was starting to reconsider, like, maybe I should just go after the pylon instead and just kind of run the Lings in. What if I don't get this robo? Then I'll just be down a lot of Banelings and won't have done anything.
The third does get scouted, and Pili's going to try to go for the cancel there, but no, he just moves into the base. He needs to be more decisive. He's kind of dancing around with his Lings. He's going to go into the mineral line after all. Probes get pulled, and he is going to be able to pick off a few before targeting down the pylon.
Oh, that is an Artosis pylon if I've ever seen one. A Templar Archives, Researching Storm, and 4 gateways.
These are fresh gateways too. They just went up and turned into warp gates.
Yeah, but PiLiPiLi's sitting on 28 workers. He can't just be okay with doing some moderate amounts of damage and shutting down production. He's actually got to do nearly, not necessarily game-ending damage, but a substantial amount of damage. And now, he's the one taking damage on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I really like this warping coming in from Scarlett with the charge slots and the Archon, definitely picking away at the drone line, which was necessary just because Scarlett's just been so distracted on her side of the map and leaving Pili untouched.
Okay, well, Storm is close to finishing up. Scarlett has a couple of those Archons. I don't think she has any High Templars building up energy right now, but she's going to be able to make a very scary attack, but still got to defend her third expansion first.
Alright, Pili knows he can't get up there.
Huh. This is actually kind of funny. I don't think Scarlett can get out of her main base until she takes out a pylon.
Well, we do see Archons. We do see Archons and charge slots picking away at the third here. More getting warped in. I think Scarlett might want to try to make something happen here. Oh, Banelings get morphed, but I don't think they're going to finish in time. I think, if anything, the Archons and Zealots might be able to pick them off. And oh, did you get a little lag there?
The game just ended.
I totally got a lag. And then a GG, and then like a victory screen.
Interesting. No lag from me.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully nothing causes problems. Luckily, it was just literally at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
GG was happening. Oh, actually. No, never mind. For a moment, I had like a could not connect to BattleNet for a second.
Yeah, I thought I was lagging out. So basically, I am on US East, and everybody else, including Fear Dragon, is going to be on US West / Korea, so that, region. My ping is going to be a little questionable. Hopefully not too questionable. We are going to switch over to American server now to play out game 3. Let me update the score screen there. Right now it is a 1-1 for Scarlett versus PiLiPiLi for any of you joining us now. I mean, Pili was looking pretty convincing there.
Yeah, I think, again, it's maybe just a little bit of that inexperience in the laying all into like the Baneling buffs and stuff, because again, PiLiPiLi doesn't really play Zerg, so
right.
He doesn't necessarily always know like what's the best building to target. He knows it from the Protoss perspective of, man, it's so annoying when the pylons go down, but he doesn't necessarily know exactly how many Banelings it takes to kill a Robo or a Cybernetics Core or anything. So maybe playing a little bit extra safe and ends up costing him.
He is going to choose Blood Boil as his next map. Now, a lot of Zergs say that it's very Protoss and Terran favored just because the harass potential is there, and it's harder for Zergs to react to things and to be able to hold or be able to, whatever. But on the other hand, you have people like Showtime saying that Blood Boil is very Zerg favored because you can get across the map a lot faster, and it's such a huge map. So there's a lot of complaining going on for all players when it comes to Blood Boil. It's one of those maps that no one can agree on for anything, but yet people will totally choose it for tournaments and events like this because they think that they're going to be able to throw somebody off. One of them's going to get thrown off. Yeah, I think that at least the consensus that I've seen from a few Zerg players even as well, like TLO, it's going to be a difficult map for Protoss. So I'm not surprised to see this as the very first pick for PiLi. I am hoping that he actually does, we saw a hatchery block, not quite a proxy hatch, but I'm hoping this time we'll see the proxy hatch. I don't know. I don't know what he has planned. That's why we're doing this event, because I just want to see what these guys got up their sleeves.
Yeah. I'm most interested to see whether or not Scarlett decides to go for the low ground natural expansion that has 2 gas geysers, or if she's actually going to just
get greedy
content with her in-base one.
Yeah. I said she does get greedy. You're right.
Yeah. She loves getting greedy. Actually, if I'm gonna have to predict something, I predict that Scarlett will go for the low ground, more forward expansion. Then she's gonna go for the gold.
For sure.
That's my.
Yeah, for sure. That's totally within her habits, behaviors.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in the bottom right, I keep thinking this is Scarlett. In the bottom right, we have our Zerg, PiLiPiLi from Sidestorm Gaming.
And his opponent up here in the top left, we have the pink Protoss player. Always love those alliterations. We have team expert Scarlett.
Now, wouldn't it be funny? Oh, sorry, go.
Oh, no, I was just, I was not going to say anything of importance. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, wouldn't it be funny if from doing this event, that people are realizing that they could really play these races and then they end up switching for the entire WCS season? Because if we know anything, the rules only state that you're locked into your name, not your race, for WCS.
Well, you know, Scarlett has switched up in Challenger. I don't expect PiLiPiLi's going to be doing it. I think that PiLiPiLi is, at least so far, mostly been relying on some of the all-ins to take some games. And maybe he could get lucky here and there with that, but you never know.
I wonder if PiLiPiLi is going to take that pocket expansion in the back, or if he's going to be like almost every other Zerg I've seen where they just move up and out and forwards. Because this is just really hard to defend, and I don't know, a lot of playing the races come from experience. Little things just come from grinding out games. So I'm not sure if he's grinded out enough to be able to hold things or defend.
Yeah, well, he is going to go for that gold. And honestly, I guess if we consider the way he's been playing so far, taking the more aggressive gold expansion, not only for the economy, but also just the fact that it's more forward, can also help out with all-in. So if he continues to all-in, maybe this will work out. But oh god, is Scarlett looking to get cheeky with this probe? No. For a moment, I was actually wondering, like, you know, never considered this, but a probe could plant down a pylon up on that high ground, and I think a photon overcharge may just... it'd be in range of the mineral, and I actually wonder if it'd be in range of the hatchery.
Huh. I wonder that too. I have noticed that PiLiPiLi did take off gas though, so that means he's probably gonna go for a Ling all-in. Probably having queens to defend or reinforce at home. Either that or he just wants to get his economy up really fast. We do see a mothership core though heading across the map with this adept, and a pylon does go down before the creep spreads.
Oh man, right before the creep spread starts up. But yeah, like you were saying, mothership core is now here, and PiLiPiLi can't engage against this. Oh boy, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. His hatchery is in like legitimate danger right now of actually going down. Unless this queen can actually get a lot of damage done on the mothership core, I think that might be the one kind of saving grace for PiLiPiLi.
PiLiPiLi is getting his units ready in position for when that overcharge goes down to move in or bait out another one.
Yeah, but I don't think he can just wait around and absorb more hits on that hatchery. He has to go for it. He takes out the pylon and is going to salvage the situation. Even keeps the queen alive for a little bit longer, trying to run away with it.
I don't think it's going to live. Yeah, the queen doesn't live, but does place down a creep chomer before she dies, which is going to be really useful, especially for getting this high ground vision up this ramp, since this gold base does sit at the bottom of 3 ramps.
Yeah, PiLiPiLi invested a lot into making a ton of lings over there and getting the queens out, etc. So he's not exactly sitting on a stellar economy. He's now starting to drone back up and going to be playing catch up with Scarlett. But, well, Scarlett's getting out charge right now, and she has a couple of gateways available. So we may be seeing a kind of big charge lot attack, or maybe even just going into that similar style that she tried to go for before. with the faster tempo archives and getting out some archons.
You know, Scarlett's trying to tickle away at these rocks in the back, but I think if Pili just sent his lings to the back in this little alleyway and went up the ramp, he would have probably been able to get scouts out, would have been able to get maybe some probe kills, because that's definitely still like an open area. Now, not so much anymore. It's definitely becoming a closed door.
Yeah, always good to knock those down whenever you get an opportunity to, just because, as you were saying, close down the different pathways that your opponent can come in and be annoying. But Scarlett does go for that kind of in-base natural expansion, which only has 1 gas geyser, but does have 10 mineral patches, and that's worth mentioning because Scarlett, with the charge upgrade, I think that this map isn't quite as bad if you're going for a lot of charge lots, because you can just afford a few more. You do have better mineral income.
We do see Roach speed being researched, so I think Pili definitely wants to go for maybe a Roach Ravager, Ling. No Bailey Nest though. Kind of attack here.
Yeah, also sitting on a fairly low worker count, still only on 48 on 3 bases. I mean, if I didn't know better, I would think he was trying to emulate his teammate Jon Snow, but maybe this will end up working out. He's got a lot more army supply than Scarlett. Granted, Roach is not exactly supply efficient units, but oh god, Ling's catching a lot of these zealots.
Pili does see the warping come in, and he can prepare units. He's making set 8. No, how many roaches? Because 2 finished. So anyway, he has 7 roaches being produced and 10 lings. So he definitely wants to make sure he doesn't get as much from.
I'm actually surprised that Scarlett just retreats all the way back into her main base, because I actually think on open ground that number of zealots with charge would have won versus the low number of roaches initially there, but looks like she is going to retreat back, losing the cyber core. Only Templar and zealots can be warped in, but is that actually going to be enough already?
I don't think it's going to be. Oh, the storm
I think
juicy hits. Oh, she is starting.
She killed her own mothership core.
Her own units.
Oh boy.
Oh, caught in the friendly fire.
Yeah, and 2 of the gateways now being depowered. Cybernex core is only just now being remade. She can't actually make another mothership core, and Pili may be able to do a surprising amount of damage over here. Just target firing down the Nexus, not even playing around at all with this.
I think Pili just wanted to get rid of any choke potential that Scarlett might have, because when it comes to Protoss, it's pretty tanky, and if you get caught in a really bad choke, then you could lose this entire army.
Well, Roaches come pummeling on forward, and with only 2 gateways and Cybernex core only now finishing up, PliPiLi is going to force out the GG. Scarlett taps out, and our Zerg player goes up in the series once again.
It's kind of funny how they win on like each other's servers. Like, you would think that the server advantage would favor the person whose home server we're playing on. You know what I mean?
Not just the server, but also it seems like they're winning on each other's map picks. Oh, sorry, no. That was Pili's map pick. So I guess that does start to make a little bit more sense. Blood Boil, very, very well recognized map, as many Protoss players hating it for being a Zerg favored map.
So we are switching over to Korea server for this 4th game. And for those of you joining us, welcome. This is Scarlett versus PiLiPiLi and ZVP, PVZ. Yeah. races are listed down below.
Indeed. But it's really interesting because I feel as though Scarlett has barely been able to play her typical Protoss playstyle. It's been very much about Scarlett doing little bits of aggression with like her early Zealot or Adept or Mothership Core, but then immediately she's just always on the back foot, defending.
So it seems like Scarlett's map pick is going to be Ire.
Ascension to Ire. going to Protoss home territory.
Do you think we're going to see a Golden Armada this game? I've been waiting. I've been waiting for the Golden Armada, but Pili doesn't seem to want to let her get to it. I mean, everybody knows how much Scarlett likes carriers because, you know, there was a while where carriers were pretty, I would argue, imbalanced. I would argue they were pretty good, especially paired with Storms and Archons and Void Rays. They can get a little out of hand. So I think Pili just does not want to deal with that, especially cross server. So.
Yeah, and I think it's also worth mentioning that the longer a game goes on, the more mechanics of the race that you're not used to, you have to actually end up dealing with. And I think that if you end up playing shorter games, if you go for all-ins and everything, you can avoid maybe a little bit of that inexperience that Pili has, whereas Scarlett has played quite a few games as Protoss. She has experience, even not just in the all-in phase, but even in the kind of later game stages, she does have some experience with playing late game stage Protoss. So maybe that's part of Pili's plan. He just doesn't want to take it to a late game, partially because of maybe Golden Armada and everything, but also, well, he just doesn't have the experience Scarlett does.
Well, in the bottom right, we do have from Team Expert playing Protoss. It's Scarlett.
And up in the top left, we have the red Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. Give it up for Pili, leading up 2-1 in this best of 7.
Oh, I keep doing the score wrong. Oh my god, sorry about that, guys. I know what the score is, but it's just that the placement of the names gets switched, and then in my head, it's still the same from the last game. My bad, guys.
I don't even blame you, because if I came into the stream just now and I saw that Pili was up 2-1, I would think, okay, really? Pili's the one ahead in this series?
Yeah, he's
not to hate on my boy Pili, but you always think of Scarlett as being the off racer. You always think, even Pili himself before this match started was saying, I don't know why I got matched up versus you. Like, this is gonna be so one-sided.
Yeah.
He didn't even have faith in himself.
Yeah, he was telling me that he was just gonna clown around, and he told me he was, which was fine. I love the clown games, to be honest. I think those are the most fun to cast and commentate, and that's one of the reasons why I chose to do off and reverse race, but or to feature players doing off and reverse race. But he was saying that he had all these things planned, and he was going to go for this and that, and just have fun with it because he knows he isn't going to win, and yet he's up 2-1. So maybe being a clown is what it takes to be a WCS contender player.
I mean, he is basically the same person as Hearthstone, and Hearthstone is known as one of the greatest clowns alive. So.
Oh man, I wonder what a Pili versus Hearthstone game would look like. I mean, if the servers weren't too, like, if they were a little closer region-wise, I would totally set up some of these games for you guys, but that's hard.
That would just be absolute madness. An off-race Hearthstone versus Pili match, I don't even think it would be sensical. There'd just be so much trolling going on.
You know what I just realized? So for any of you guys just joining us, earlier we had Showtime versus Lambo, and Showtime's Zerg is actually incredibly good. But Lambo was saying that we should match up Showtime and Scarlett, which was what I wanted to do originally. And it's really hard. Scarlett said that once she's in Canada again, she's definitely willing to play Showtime in an off-race, reverse race show match. But the other thing is, now that I think about it, is I'm going to be in Korea, I think, when she comes here for... Oh, wait, no, I don't think she's coming here for the North by Northeast thing. Sorry, my bad, guys, my bad. I'm thinking of No Regret. Okay, because you see, they live together and whatnot, and we do see a Dropper Lord coming in here. Gonna scout the Stargate and possibly take out that pylon while these Lings come in the front and try to take out the Cybernetics again. Or no, just working on the pylon.
Yeah, gonna try and just, I guess, keep things distracted. Maybe on a little bit of an A move, and Zergling's in the main base, able to get a little bit more damage done, going after some of these probes, but not actually able to kill many of them off. In fact, take a look at the workers killed. Only one worker has actually died so far for Scarlett.
Yeah, she definitely held that very well and was paying attention and was pretty confident that her Oracle could do a lot here at the front to keep the Lings at bay.
Alright, well, Flipping Overcharge comes out. This wall in from Scarlett is actually so solid. It's a nice little corridor and a passageway that Adepts can just kind of line up with, and Scarlett could easily have just warped in additional Adepts behind the the most forward one. The pylon also kind of secures the deal. I actually really like this wall from Scarlett.
More and more Lings are being streamed across the map, which I don't know, it feels like a wasted supply because these could have been drones, you know, and Pili is getting his third up, but these Lings might just be looking to force units out or maybe keep her from expanding, just threaten her a bit and just be like, you trying to expand? Are you sure? You sure?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a difficult attack for Pili to do. Well, one gateway gets depowered, unfortunately for Scarlett.
The Oracle does get denied, but it gets a good scout out. You know,
yeah,
Pili's
able to kill any of those workers.
Pili's making a lot of queens. Do you think he's going to try Nidusing again? Or do you think that's just for defense? Because he knows he's a bit behind in economy.
I think it may just be for defense. I mean, he has seen that Scarlett's made a decent number of Adepts at this point, and he doesn't really have, until just now, he doesn't really have even a Roach Warren getting started. So, there's a good chance that he was just a little bit afraid about if these Adepts ever moved out, what's he got to deal with them? Well, he's got a handful of Lings. Cool. Not exactly the most ideal defense.
Well, Scarlett
Pili
does... Oh, sorry.
Just saying, Pili definitely probably sitting behind, though, just in terms of his economy.
Well, Scarlett does go for her third, and Pili does see that. Now just kind of sitting back with his Lings. I wonder if he... yeah, he's not going to try to go into the... natural again. Oh, if he was active with his Lings, he might have been able to catch these probes transferring over or something like that. Yeah,
maybe difficult to keep an eye out on all of that. There's an Overlord sitting up above the third.
There's a Nidus. He's doing a Nidus.
Okay, well, hopefully he'll get vision for that Nidus. He does have that Overlord still at the third.
The Voider might pick it up, though.
Trying to pull it away, but no. Voider's gonna find it. That Void Ray has been able to shut down a significant number of Overlords, and Pili never got Overlord speed, so this is kind of becoming a legitimate problem if he wants a nice inside the main base.
But he does have Link speed, and I feel like as close as he can get would be pretty good. I think Pili did see that Stasis Sword going down. Oh, okay. The Nidus does go down.
Come outside the third. These stasis traps could end up catching quite a few Lings, though, and really put a big hamper. I love the positioning from Scarlett's stasis traps, by the way, because consider the Lings are probably going to be running on forward and running straight into them. And they might actually get trapped in position where they even prevent the pylons from getting fully surrounded.
So more and more Roaches are being produced right now. Definitely think the Queens are going to be able to take out that Void Ray. Scarlett wants to save it, doesn't want to waste that Void Ray, but Overcharge goes down. Transfuses get... Oh, I think 2 Queens are going to get picked off here. Maybe 3. No, Transfuses go down. Oh, 3 Queens get targeted down. Maybe a 4th one? Oh, if Pili loses these Queens...
one-sided engagement,
yeah.
I think, with the Immortals in the mix. There's just no way Pili, no matter how good your transfuse micro is, Scarlett's just a little bit too far ahead. GG. And once again, the series is tied up 2-2.
2-2. It's... Oh, you know what else is really hard? You know why else I think I got the score mixed up the first time? Is because... Again, with the reverse race, you see Protoss and you think Pili. You know?
Or you think Scarlett? You mean?
No. Like, I think... Because when Scarlett won the last one... What was it? Scarlett won... One of the two... Maybe it was reverse. Okay. I think it was when I saw the Zerg logo. I think Scarlett. And then I made it... It was 2-1 before.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's... You gotta have a little patience with me, guys. I'm sorry. Just excuse my overlooking of things. Eventually, it'll get updated. I do have a wonderful admin. Shout outs to Maria. She's awesome, and she's hopefully updating the Wikipedia for you guys. So, if anything, she's definitely got tabs on the scores. So, even if I don't, you know, I got somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't really. This is just for fun for me. And hopefully I'm bringing you guys some good games that you wouldn't normally see, and that's the whole point of this, is because I just wanted to do a whole big what if. So we are going into game 5 between Scarlett versus PiLiPiLi in a PvZ, if you guys are just now joining us. Which, by the way, guys, if you donate $5 or more, you can have a replay pack from today. All these awesome games could be yours. And all the donations go towards another Fight Club. So if you want to see more of these games, if you want to have a whole day of Fight Club, which today is going to be 5 best of 7 showmatch series, then you guys can definitely do that. If not, whatever money I do get, if it's enough for a series, then I want to do Scarlett versus Showtime in reverse race. But I also want to bring some of your other favorites in here, like Kelazar. You know, I definitely want to. I know he off races.
Okay. Well, game is loaded up. We're hopping on to Defender's Landing.
And in the top right, we have our Zerg, PiLiPiLi from Storm.
With the 12 pool.
12 pulling it up.
And his opponent, down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the pink Protoss player. Give it up for team expert Scarlett.
Now, she does have a probe going out pretty early, and I think she's either gonna be proxying something, cannon rushing, or she's got some clairvoyant powers, because she's gonna scout this 12 pool.
I think she knows Defender's Landing with the 2 different openings can be so annoying for Protoss to defend. She probably experienced this from the other end of the spectrum, being the Zerg player abusing this. Maybe watching No Regret and Bly play some of their kind of cheesy Ling all-in games, but going for the Pylon Scout is super duper early on. She can catch wind of this much earlier than I think Pili wanted him to.
Now, she is going to see that Pili is going to go for the gasless version just because of this drone trying to get a natural up, which means that there aren't going to be the threat of banelings, and Pili's going to just want to get an economy up, maybe just deny a few things from Scarlett, definitely denying this natural from going up, but what happened?
Goes to the pylon to block. Oh, by the way, a pylon does block off the center of this map for a little bit, but Pili does manage to knock that down pretty quickly. There is going to be a bit of difficulty in defending this natural expansion, even with some workers pulled and the Zealot over there. Some good micro from Pili can definitely turn this around.
Cybernetics core does finish up, so Scarlett can get a mothership core out now, but it's not gonna be done in time. She's gonna try to buy as much time as she can, though.
Oh my god, if Pili gets the pylon, this is gonna be a huge problem. But no, he realizes the second Zealot now being out is gonna make that a little bit too difficult. So instead runs into the main base. Is gonna be annoying, but more Lings come flooding on in behind this, and those could go after the pylon. Oh.
They're kind of just playing Ring Around the Rosie right now with each other.
Yeah, and the Adept is going to be popping out, and they should be able to take care of the Lings in time, maybe? Oh, the pylon's definitely getting low, but yeah.
6
it is
probes go down for Scarlett.
Yeah, but PiLiPiLi's only on 14, right? He's still
Right.
making more Lings. And he is finally getting a gas geyser up as well. It's starting to drone up a little bit. I wonder if this is just going to continue out into a big Link flood, or if he is planning to try and transition out fully.
And remember, guys, like I was saying earlier, this is the gasless variation, so he hasn't been able to get Ling speed because he hasn't been mining gas. Now, usually, sometimes what people do is get just enough gas for Ling speed, and then pull off of gas entirely and go from there.
Oh man, one of the pylons for Scarlett gets knocked out, and she's now supply blocked, and she's gonna lose another pylon right before the stop. Oh my god, she's got only one zone in the Mother Core to defend back at home, and Mother Core should be enough, especially alongside the Zealot, but the Zealot getting surrounded. Nice surround from PiLiPiLi. Barely doesn't get it though.
The
2 hits away
Zealot.
from death.
The hero Zealot. Wow, we need to throw that guy a parade. Cut down the fort.
Oh, that's still so frustrating for Scarlett because her warp gate is going to be super delayed. Her warp ins and just unit production is going to be delayed. As you can see, she started banking up a good chunk of minerals. But we'll see what she does with them. If she's going to try and add on a bunch of early gateways, or yeah, I guess making a robo definitely makes sense.
You know, it almost seems like PiLi understands what early game production is like for Protoss, and he knows where to hit it where it hurts.
Yeah. 2 Adepts do get killed off in the center of the map by a lot of Lings, and Scarlett's got the full wall going now, finally, so shouldn't be dealing with Ling run-bys in the same way she was dealing with them before. Even gets a probe up at the north side of her base, prepared for any kind of Ling drops that could be coming out, but yeah, I definitely agree. I think that PiLiPiLi has a really good sense of, oh, at this stage in the game, Protoss is staying they're staying defensive on a very, very light number of units, so he's really doing a good job taking advantage of that.
Scarlett's pretty much said, you know what, I've had enough of this, no more. You don't get to come in anymore. She's knocked down the cooling tower over here. She's walled off completely over here. She's got 2 pylons ready to take all the overcharges and even stack the overcharges if she wants.
Yeah. Only thing that she may be looking to do later, as she does have more than enough supply as of right now, but probably wants to get a pylon somewhere close to those that cooling tower debris, just because you want to be able to photon overcharge that and prevent units from actually killing that debris and just opening up the floodgates from a safe distance. But Spore Crawler's coming down for PiLiPiLi inside the mineral lines. Seems like he's preparing for the potential Oracle that could be coming out, as well as any kind of Dark Templar shenanigans.
We do see a War Prism moving out. It might be going towards the main, but Scarlett's going to find that the layer isn't in the main, but it's in the natural instead. And I feel like a lot of people have been doing this these days so that if their main gets picked off, they still have the tech available to them. Layer tech is really important at this stage in the game. And layer upgrades as well. Whether it be roach speed, +2, or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. We did see a Stalker picked off, actually, by some of the Lings from PiLiPiLi. So, nice little pick-off, small little things here and there. But the Adepts are just going to be trying to buy a little bit of time. Queen getting on top of the Warp Prism is going to bring its shields down pretty low. Gotta be so careful with this, as this is going to be a very important part of the attack for Scarlett. She wants to keep this alive for the follow-up as well, but the Warp Prism gets so low, 1 hit point left.
Oh my god, that has got to be the most irritating thing ever. Oh, I hate when this happens to me because I want it. I want it so bad. And sometimes I throw my army or I throw whatever it is just to pick it off, just for the satisfaction of finally killing it.
Yeah, but PiLiPiLi's gonna have to live with that frustration for a little bit longer. Thankfully for him, it may not be for very much longer as he's getting ready for a big move out. Although getting super supply block. Looks like a bad rally on some of those overlords potentially as he loses 2 of them. 6 overlords going to be finishing up though, so he won't be able to supply block for too much longer. The question is, how much damage can he get done over here?
He is looking to push, so if the force fields are good, then Scarlett's going to be able to pick off this army really, really easily.
Yeah, looks like 13 more roaches on the way. Only 3 ravagers out though, so it's gonna have a hard time picking off them. They also have a hard time actually killing off the pylons themselves that are getting fletched and overcharged. But baiting out a few force fields, lost the genius exchange. Looks like ravager shots are not going to be getting great connections, and Field's gonna have to back up over here. This is just not gonna work.
I think Pili was trying to meta the force fields that were going to come down from Scarlett and ended up kind of hitting his own units for a little bit there.
Pili just really not taking the best trades right now. He's got a lot more roaches coming out, but he still does not have roach speed. Pili, you gotta get roach speed, man. It's so good.
Even without roach speed, though, the creep is helping a little bit. I'm really liking the creep spread that I'm seeing from Pili. He's been very, very active with it.
Okay, well, if you can get that creep spread going a little bit closer to Scarlett's actual base, you can utilize it during the engagements instead of just kind of on the retreat. But finding a free immortal is kind of nice, but nothing is free for Scarlett.
Yeah, she's gonna retreat into the choke of her nexus and the pylons in the safe space that her mothership core is gonna provide. But those overcharges.
This is a timed all-in for Pili. It has a certain lifespan, especially with no roach speed, and with the immortal count just growing more and more, this looks less and less likely to succeed. But has Pili finally broken through? Is he getting some damage done? The answer looks like it's going to be a flat-out no.
Yeah, those force fields just separating out a lot of Pili's army, being able to pick them off a little chunk at a time, and that's really what Scarlett was looking for in order to win this engagement. All she had to do was remain patient, not go out too far.
There it is. Finally, Pili realizes he missed out on roach speed. Something I feel like it could only have been a mistake, because with how many roaches he was making, there's very little reason not to at least get that. Try and back out of those force fields a little bit faster and everything. Just gives you so much more maneuverability. Even your reinforcements get there. Gives you a front side of the map a lot faster.
The first Evo chamber also just now coming up from Pili, so I don't know if he also just realized that he didn't have any upgrades on his roaches, but he's probably going to want to try to work on the range upgrades now.
Okay, I like what he's doing now. These Lings managed to kill off 5 workers in the third, while he also knocks down the debris at the front. So he's trying to open up multiple attack paths, and he has some Lings. Actually, he has 3 sets of Lings. Well, now kind of joining up with 2 of them for his main army.
Oh, but, these drones aren't mining. I wonder if they just got stasis warded, and Pili just... They're not mining gas, so I'm wondering if Pili just didn't realize.
Yeah, it could be that, or it could even have just been like a
no, there's no, I don't think there's a wormhole.
No, I think that he just pulled them off. There was a warp prism in the main base that was trying to do some adept harassment and stuff, so they may have been running around. He may have thought he right-clicked on the gas geyser, but just clicked next to it instead. Well, 4th expansion is going to be coming up over here for Scarlett. 4th expansion does get a little bit weird, just because there's that entire right-hand side that your opponent's army can just run through. Oh, Pili catches wind of this and gets in the right position. He could actually cancel this. Oh, it doesn't get there with his entire army in time. Kind of reveals the fact that his army's moving.
There is an adept counterattack going on back in Pili's third with 3 adepts and a warp prism, but I don't think Scarlett is microing that right now as she's trying to fend off this army at her 4th.
Yeah, but the warp prism in the main base is getting some good damage on the Zealots. Now actually running around, causing havoc. At the same time, she chases down this army for Pili. Now it's Pili the one that's kind of distracted and trying to run back home to deal with this. Oh, but +2 weapon Zealots versus 0 upgraded roaches. Soon he'll have +1 missile attacks, but almost a little bit too late. I think that these Zealots have gotten such cost-efficient trades versus PiLiPiLi's army, and PiLiPiLi's down to just 44 workers now as well. And things are looking pretty grim for him. He doesn't have any transitionary tech. He's got roaches. He's got a lair tech, and he does have roach speed with some Ravagers out, but this is just not a late game army. And in the meanwhile, Scarlett she's gotten up Storm, she's gotten up Archons. Her immortal count is actually getting vomit-inducing disgusting.
Vomit-inducing disgusting. All force fields do split off the army, and Scarlett splits off her army in a way that can really tank for both these halves. She's migrating away from the battles really well, avoiding most of these shots. These immortals are just too tanky.
GG. Scarlett takes the lead in the series for the very first time, going up 3-2, and is now at match point. When a Zerg player, when a Protoss player gets up to 11 or 12 immortals, and the Zerg player is only making roaches, Annie.
It's painful. It's painful to watch, Ruby. I mean, it's because immortals do bonus damage for armored units. And what are roaches? They're armored units. And I mean, Hydras would have been great. Not be
armored units, but they also die pretty damn quickly when there's that many immortal.
This is true. This is also very true. And now, I mean, I wish Pili had gotten maybe Hydras out. I mean, Hydras tear through immortal shields. I mean, I maybe Mutas even. Like, I know like he knew exactly what Scarlett was going for, and the only anti-air that she had was sentries. I mean, she could warp in stalkers, but you know, maybe if Pili was going for some kind of a Spire, I wouldn't say rush, but planning on going into Spire play, it would have been beneficial. For sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it was just going to be too difficult of a situation for him, just because he was pretty committed and all in on that big roach attack. Only sitting on roughly 48 to like 50-ish workers, not really having full saturation, and also just accidentally not having roach speed. I think all those things really put him into a pretty all-in position. So when he wasn't able to make that work, it was kind of like a nice attempt to try and bounce back with some counterattack harassment from multiple angles. But at the end of the day, Scarlett came out supreme, and we move on to Odyssey for game number 6.
For sure. I mean, the thing is, sometimes you kind of get stuck in some kind of tag, or like you said, with the all-in, and there's a little bit of hesitation there, because you're like, oh, do I just keep going with this? I mean, I know I'm behind. What if I do this? I mean, let's just hope that they're like supply blocked or something's happening to throw them off a bit. So we are going into game 6, and in the bottom right, it's PiLiPiLi as Zerg from Storm Gaming.
Going for the 12 pool again. And up here on the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the pink Protoss player sitting up at 3-2. Give it up for Scarlett, who is not going for the Pylon Scout this game, like she did in that the Abyssal Reef, or sorry, not the Abyssal Reef, Defender's Landing game, where Pili went for the 12 pool.
Do you think she knows?
This one is gonna... Ooh, she's not even going for a Gateway Scout. So, okay, here's the thing. Scarlett is going for the high ground wall-in, which means that it can be a lot easier to deal with this kind of attack. But it also is reliant on this idea that Scarlett will eventually get out that early Zealot. Because if the Lings get into the main base and they can go after that pylon, that's when they start doing some damage. Even if they just force the probes to be pulled off the line for a while, that's absolutely worth it for Pili. But if Scarlett has been making that Zealot early on in these games so far. So I don't know if Pili's going to actually be able to do a whole lot over here.
The other thing I think with Scarlett is that she's noticed Pili's gone for some pretty, I would say, honorable games. so far. So I don't think she's. I think she's like, he doesn't have it in him. He's not gonna do it, you know. So she's going for something a little more.
I mean, to be fair, Annie, I think that Peely's all into every single one of these games.
Yeah, but they've been honorable all-ins, right?
The honorable all-ins, that's fair. But, okay, here we go. Zell was not made. Pylon's getting focus fire down. Probes being pulled off the line. Probes will buy enough time to save the Pylon, and Scarlett should be able to bounce back from this, but she's definitely going to be losing a good 4 workers and a lot of lost mining time.
See, I think for me, a dishonorable all-in would be like a hat. No. Like a proxy hatch. Now that's some dirty gameplay, right?
I mean, okay. I think a Zerg bias is showing a little bit, Annie. As a Protoss player who constantly gets told, you went for a 3-base adept attack? What an all-inner. Okay, hold on, Annie. I'm gonna stop you right there and say Peely has been all-inning. These have been some dirty Zerg all-ins. This is a little bit of my Protoss bias, definitely showing a little bit.
Slowlings can't get anything done. They're just innocent, harmless little cuties trying to poke at you and kind of nibble here and there, you know? Like, they're not trying to do any harm. It's fine. Let them in your base.
And my 7-gate adept attacks are just beautiful girls at the ball trying to find Prince Charming in the drone line.
We do see an overcharge coming down here, gonna protect these probes from getting any more tickles from the lings.
Well, 2 adepts on the other side of the map might be able to get some damage done just because Peely does not have too many units back at home. He's got these queens around, but 2 workers already going down and a few more focus fire. Actually, more than just a few. Even getting a lot of these lings, and the adepts are gonna. One adept gets picked off, but the other adept does make it out of there alive. And Peely does not exactly have a stellar economy right now. Sitting on, well, was sitting on 18 workers, gets a huge round of drones out, but doesn't have a 3rd expansion, doesn't have a lair, is only just now starting up Zergling speed. He invested a lot into that early ling attack and wasn't able to get the pylon, and I think killed off a few workers, but not nearly as many as he probably wanted to.
You know, only 5 drones go down for PiLiPiLi and 4 probes went down for Scarlett. So to me, this is more of like an eye for an eye situation, and Scarlett's coming out ahead.
Yeah, I think so. Scarlett, I think, is going to be feeling a little bit better about this. With the Twilight Council also finished up, she can start getting resonating glaives. I was going to say that or charge, but she's shown that she's not too good at either one. But
you know,
I don't know. It looks like Peely is going to go for his 3rd in his lair with an evolution chamber. Do you think he's going to try and play this out into like a macro game?
it looks like he wants to. I mean, I would have actually loved to see Peely go for the gold and pull a Scarlet, pull a Scarlet greed. You know what I mean? He's still
that would have been pretty cool.
There we go. Okay, so speed just finished for the lings. He's gonna try to run in here. The wall is exposed. He's gonna be but he doesn't run in. He just tries to target down the stalker there. But I was gonna say Peely could have gone in for the scout. He wouldn't have seen much. There's not really much development here going on from Scarlett. It's just glaives almost finishing, so that's gonna give her a reason to move in. I think Peely did see how many adepts Scarlett had, so he's trying to prepare now. He's getting +1 melee and more lings on the way. Baneling Nest almost done, so he's going to be able to morph Banelings soon. Oh, there they go.
Oh boy, and Scarlett's follow-up behind this. She's finally, in game number 6, we get to see true Scarlett fashion. The double Stargates coming out, and the Adept's going to be making their way to the main base. Depending on how well Peely can actually clean this up without the Banelings getting good connection. Although, not the worst connection. Beats up the majority of the Adepts. Okay, so Peely actually does a pretty good job of holding that off. Now, question is he going to be prepared for, not double Oracle production, double Phoenix production instead?
Are we gonna see Phoenix Adept coming out of Scarlet? I mean, I've heard and also seen how scary this kind of army can be.
Yeah, but typically you see this kind of army in Protoss versus Terran, or you used to. A little bit rarer to see it in Protoss versus Zerg.
Well, when you're as bad as I am, Remy, you see this at my level, because everyone's just kind of trying everything, and then I'm like, okay, what are you doing? This is not normal. And then you get caught off guard by it. So, you know, maybe she's trying to catch him off guard. I don't know.
I really don't hate the idea that much. I mean, Phoenix are really good at just taking control of the map, and that's exactly what Scarlet's going to be doing right now with these Phoenixes. PiLiPiLi is not going to have much Overlord vision. He's going to have a hard time, I think, breaking through against
they're gonna run into each other in the night here.
Oh, Scarlet also on a regular move command on some of these Adepts, so not even engaged. PiLiPiLi could actually get some really good damage done over by that third. There's barely anything over there besides Fletch and Overcharge to defend it, but maybe Fletch and Overcharge should be enough.
This was a really great catch from Pili, because the Adepts had just finished shading. They were on their way out, and so the shade was on cooldown, so it was really easy for Pili to get us around on the Adepts. They were already pre-split, and that was rough. I mean, I'm pretty sure that that Scarlet wanted to make something happen with them. She had plans, she had hopes, she had dreams. Now they're crushed.
Crushed indeed. These Phoenix are still getting some good damage done, though, on their own without lifting up 2 Queens. He's going to be able to pick both of them off, preventing any transfusions also from going down. These things are really... They've been looking for damage to get done, but only really finding, I guess, like wall after wall and Adept after Adept. But these Phoenix, on the other hand, oh god, the supply blocks are going to be so real.
For me, this is one of the most annoying parts of mass Phoenix like this, is picking off Overlords, supply blocking.
Link right to the natural, though. PiLiPiLi gets a bit of a break.
Seems like Scarlet wasn't paying attention for only a second. I mean, he gets a really good scout out. He sees that more Phoenixes are being made out of the double Stargate, and let's see how many... 15 probes have gone down this game.
Yeah, that was actually a really needed amount of damage for Pili, because being that supply block for so long, he's making... Oh my god, Annie, he's making 10 Overlords right now.
Exactly. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you're denying Queens, so you're denying larva, and production gets cut down. Not only that, but your Overlord supply block you, and then the few larva that you do have has to be spent into making Overlords, and then you're out of money, you're out of larva, you have a very limited army, and these Adepts can pretty much just pick off these Hydras down here. I mean, these Hydras basically do nothing without Infestors, because the Phoenixes are just so fast.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to actually ever catch those Phoenix, but the Adepts, in conjunction with the Phoenix, can just lift everything up and kill them off. PiLiPiLi gonna be tapping out, and Scarlet takes the 4-2 victory in the off-race show match.
That was a really great series. I mean, like I said, doing something like Phoenix Adept on something like PVZ, which is unexpected, sometimes is enough to throw you off, and there you go, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Really a little bit surprised I didn't get to see the style of play that I would expect from Scarlet this series, but we still got to see some pretty cool stuff, and PiLiPiLi tried to make the cheese work, but wasn't quite able to make it work toward the end of the series. Was able to take a few games, though, and definitely made some stuff look very, very close.
Extremely close. It was
the honorable cheese.
So cool.